Okay. Oops, sorry. Stop share. Share screen. Share sound.
Okay, Jenny, so you're ready to go?
I think so. Let's see.
All
From
right.
beginning. All right.
Find the words that matter, say them out loud, and make it better somehow.
Looking down from up on the moon is a tiny blue marble. Who'd have thought the ground we stand on
Could be so fragile.
This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world. A diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it silent. Keep it silent. Keep it silent. 'Cause it's our world. It's not about possessions, money or religion. How many years it might live.
When the only real question that matters is still a matter of perspective. Looking down from up on the moon, you're a tiny blue marble.
Who'd have thought the ground we stand on
Could be so fragile. This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world.
diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Keep it safe.
Keep mama heart safe.
'Cause it's our world.
But bang, 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 bang. Say mama earth is in a crazy mess. It's time for us to do our best. From deep sea straight back to Everest. She under crazy stress unless you wanna be motherless. Green heart is the way of stress. Speediness and too much greediness. 6 billion people are want plentiness. Some people think this is harmless. But if we continue, they'll only be emptiness.
This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world. A diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Keep it safe.
Special paradise.
Keep it safe. This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world. Diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Keep it safe.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Kasner, leader of the Climate Action Team and a trustee on the board. A year ago this weekend, we had to cancel Sunday's service as we began sheltering in place due to COVID-19. Who would have thought then that we would still be meeting via Zoom on Sunday mornings? The pandemic, much like the climate crisis, magnifies the disparities among people and sparks renewed interest and efforts for racial, economic, and environmental justice. For many of us, the pandemic has given us two gifts. First, it has given us a reason to unite. Though isolated from one another physically, we are compelled to work together to slow the spread of the virus. Second, it has given us time to reflect on what is important. Even as we mourn the tremendous loss of life, we have hope that we can rise out of this like a phoenix reborn to rebuild a better future for generations to come. Let's see, Jenny, are you there? I think we need to spotlight me.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, friends, guests, and members to our online service. Those new to the UU Catskills who would like to be added to our mailing list, please give us your email in the chat box or visit us online at uucatskills.org. Our minister, Rev. Lianiza, is off this Sunday. Our climate action team presents this morning's service, Caring for the Earth, and invites you to commit to climate action. Now is the time to awaken to the urgency of our situation and take bold action. In the words of young Greta Thunberg, our house is on fire. What will you do? Canadian climate activist Naomi Klein states, the task is to articulate not just an alternative set of policy proposals, but an alternative worldview to rival the one at the heart of the ecological crisis, embedded in interdependence rather than hyper-individualism, reciprocity rather than dominance, and cooperation rather than hierarchy. How fortunate we are to live on this beautiful planet, dancing around the sun at this moment in history. Our actions today will determine the future existence of mankind. Planet Earth will no doubt survive our assaults and continue with or without us. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, the future depends on what you do today. Next Sunday, March 21st, is International Day of the Forests, which was created in 2012 by the United Nations to raise awareness of the importance of forests. Forests play a crucial role in the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. As a young girl, I was always drawn with wonder into the wild of the woods. These days, I feel blessed to live in a forest. It is amongst trees that I feel most at peace and one with the world. Our service today is dedicated to trees, which may be our savior from ecological disaster. I want to thank Jenny Giddy for all her work and for putting together our slideshow, Constance Rudd and Marie Young for the music, Maura Sullivan for selecting the poems and book, Vic Melville and Carol Warren for their contributions, and Kristen Skara and Karma Haas for being co-hosts this morning. At the UU Catskills, we are a welcoming congregation for the LGBTQ community. We affirm that Black Lives Matter. We are a congregational affiliate of the Ulster Immigrant Defense Network, and we are active voices in the effort to address climate change. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. After the service today, there will be a children's chapel with Jane. The Climate Action Team encourages you to stay for special breakout rooms to learn more about ways to commit to climate justice. Or if you prefer to socialize, there will be that option. Coming up this week at the UU Catskills, on Monday and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., Meditation Buddies. Tuesday evening, the Racial Healing Handbook at 7:30. Also on Thursday evening, Bedtime Story with Jane Podell at 7. I believe this is the first meeting of our young adults at 7:30 on Thursday evening. Friday morning, Kundalini Yoga at 9:30. Saturday, the Racial Justice Group will have a film discussion at 7 p.m. Please watch the film prior to that, Merritt College, Home of the Black Panthers. Links can be found on our website for those. This morning, okay. All right, so grab your chalices. It's time to light them now. Join me with the words. We light this chalice in grateful, loving community. Even in the darkest of times, may its flame light paths to courage, justice, and hope. Our opening words will be read this morning by Maura Sullivan.
One aspect of today's service is to celebrate our precious and beautiful planet. We are including 2 poems by Mary Oliver because her work emphasizes our interconnectedness with our unique and wonderful world. Wild geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, The world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. When I am among the trees. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, stay a while. The light flows from their branches. And they call again. It's simple, they say. And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine.
Thank you, Maura, for that. And now please join me in our reading our unison affirmation. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love to all living beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. This year, we have an ambitious yet important pledge goal and hope that all of you will take part in sustaining our community. Information is on the UU Catskills website and was sent to you via email or snail mail. If you haven't received it, please let us know. We are doing our pledge drive electronically this year. You can access information on the pledge form on our website. If you're concerned about what you can give financially, please contact Reb Leoniza. We'll be happy to talk to you about it. The Pledge Drive Committee would like to thank those who have gone online and made pledges already. Here's what some of your fellow UU Catskills members are feeling about the Pledge Drive.
UU Catskills, where we live into our values with our beloved community and beyond. Together, we can do it.
I am financially committed to the UU Catskills because when I leave after a Sunday service, whether virtual or in person, I very often feel uplifted and confident that I can become a better person. Seeing so many people I care about gives me renewed energy for the week ahead.
UUCC provides a sense of belonging to a community of fellow-minded friends, inspiring sermons, and a reminder to live ethically.
I'm financially committed to the UU Catskills because together we can create a more just world.
I support UU Catskills because it's in sync with my values. For a long time, I searched for a spiritual home, and when I finally found UU Catskills, I knew it was the right place for me. The values resonated with my own personal values, and I'm really committed to supporting them, and I hope that you will also.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Chandler, and I have been a member of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Catskills for over 35 years. I am happily financially committed to this, my second home.
Hi, I'm Joyce White, Vice President of the Board of Trustees. I'm financially committed to UU Catskills because financial stewardship is just as important as offering our time and skills to support our congregation. I'm proud to support our congregation and hope that my contributions will help us sustain each other, our congregation, and our community.
We're the Hackett's. I'm Linda.
And I'm Tom.
And we're financially committed to UU Catskills because
it's a community of people who share our most important values.
This morning, we will have a double feature for Not for Children Only. A story read by Maura Sullivan will be followed by a song.
This is the Earth by Diane Z. Shore and Jessica Alexander, illustrated by Wendell Miner. This is the land, fertile alive, crawling with creatures that help it to thrive. This is the river, flowing and free, streaming with fish as it swells to the sea. This is the sky, endless and blue, speckled with birds as they soar into view. This is the earth washed by the rain that fills up the creek and spills over the plain, and nurtures the soil planted with seeds so people can harvest the food that they need, and build houses from stones and from trees cut by hand in the towering forests that shelter the land, that protects and preserves those who tend it with care, as together we live on this earth that we share. This is the spike driven into the ground for the railways connecting the fast-growing towns. This is the steamer with coal and with wood, transporting its cargo of people and goods. This is the plane as it roars into flight, stretching its wings and reaching new heights. This is the earth where new buildings rise into towers of steel, overshadowing skies. As workers pour roadways of concrete and tar, so commuters can travel by bus and by car to the cities for jobs that will pay a fair wage in this fast-moving, busy industrial age. When we build, we expand, we invent, and we dare, and we change how we live on this earth that we share. This is a landfill, a growing gray mound of garbage that steams on the sweltering ground. This is the pipe draining into the sea, spilling out wastewater, muck, and debris. This is the smoke billowing black, spewing from chimneys and factory stacks. This is the earth polluted by greed as we take what we want, which is more than we need. Where bulldozing trucks clear the rainforest floor and sands wash away from the vanishing shore. Where huge Arctic glaciers melt into the sea and fumes and exhaust choke the air that we breathe. Endangering nature, creating despair, we forget how to live on this earth that we share. These are the bins where the bottles and cans and papers await the recycling vans. This is the bicycle racing to school. The pedaling driver provides all the fuel. This is the faucet where every drop counts, releasing the water in careful amounts. This is the earth that we treat with respect, where people and animals interconnect, where we learn to find balance between give and take and help heal the planet with choices we make. Like walking or biking, not taking the car, or sharing a ride if the journey is far. Using less water to get ourselves clean, planting trees in the city to help it grow green. Bringing reusable bags to the store and flipping the switch when we head out the door. Making a difference, becoming aware. Together we live on this earth that we share.
Thank you, Maura.
Grandmother tree. I've always known she can speak to me. She lives in the Mayan memory as a tree of life for my family. Come around the Mahogany tree. To cut her down, you'll have to pass by me. We stand in a circle as a family, protect the rainforest of Mexico.
And now it's time for contemplation and compassion. I will lead you through a guided meditation. First, get into a comfortable position, feet on the floor, spine upright. Now relax and take a slow breath in through your nose. Hold it and slowly exhale. Let's repeat that a couple of times. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Continue deep breathing on your own. Imagine the year is 2050. Back in the 20s, climate activists were successful in halting the extraction of fossil fuels. The world transitioned to 100% clean, renewable energy by 2035. Imagine you are at the UUCC. It is a Sunday morning after the service. You are outside in the memorial garden, or perhaps in front of the farmhouse, waiting to hear Rev Leoniza and her band perform. What would it look like? Breathing in, what do you see? How would it be different in a world without fossil fuels? Below, on the thruway, electric trucks and cars speed past, silently. Breathing in, what do you hear? The birds singing in the trees? Close your eyes and you can smell the scent of flowers from our native plant garden and hear the bees buzzing softly from blossom to blossom. Maybe you can hear children playing, climbing in the trees. Breathe in, breathe out. Clean air for the world, now that fossil fuels are a bad memory from the past. It's time for our offering. We are supported financially. Here at the UU's Catskills by donations and pledges. There are ways you can give online at the UU Catskills website or by text at 833-643-0430. Our hat play this month is the LBGTQ Community Center. Also, you can donate by check and mail that in. Constance is offering a song for us this morning.
the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her. It's we belong to her. A strand in a web are we. A strand in a web, I believe. To own it, we cannot dare to dream. It's a web that we didn't weave. It's a web that we didn't weave. We belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her. It's we belong to her. In sun and in wind and in rain is a seed of what will be. It awakens a power that grows down below. It courses through you and through me. It courses through you and through me. We belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her. It's we belong to her. And when our spirits take flight and we lay our bodies down, our ashes may be carried away on the wind, but return to the birthing ground. But return to the birthing ground. We belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her. It's we belong to her. It's we all belong to her.
And
don't know if anybody heard that fire engine that just ran by, in my neighborhood, right by my house. And I was kind of thinking that maybe it's a metaphor for putting out the fire as we go forward.
Thank you, Constance. That was lovely. My name's Jenny O'Grady Giddy, and I would just like to add something to the service today, starting with a piece from Robin Wall Kimmerer. Dr. Kimmerer is a professor at a SUNY here in New York State, and she is of Indigenous descent. And listening to her reading from her book really gives you a deep sense of Indigenous wisdom. We need acts of restoration, not only for polluted waters and degraded lands, but also for our relationship to the world. We need to restore honor to the way we live, so that when we walk through the world, we don't have to avert our eyes with shame, so that we can hold our heads up high and receive the respectful acknowledgement of the rest of the earth's beings. What are we doing to the earth? As we've seen so eloquently this morning in the children's story and heard in the songs that we've listened to today, we hardly need a reminder, but some of these images have stayed with me, as I'm sure they are imprinted on your memory too. The California wildfires, the hurricanes, the drought, the blizzards. How are we destroying our planet? Drilling for oil, burning coal, chopping down forests, all leading to the destruction of the environment. We have caused climate change, but the threat is greatest to those least responsible. It's also an issue of racial justice. As you can see so clearly in this photo, symbolic of the issue. These people waiting for rescue in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Who is responsible? We all are. We drive, we heat our houses, we cool our houses, we buy imported stuff, we waste food. Thus, we all have a duty to help save the planet, and in doing so, we will save ourselves. How can we erase 100 years of carbon emissions? One way is to plant trees, lots of them. And planting trees is not just to sequester carbon. As you can see in this little simple diagram here, trees take in carbon dioxide and they emit oxygen for us and our fellow creatures to breathe. But forests are far more important than just this ability. For example, tropical forests are a hotspot of biodiversity. So I'd just like to share with you a little bit of my background as an environmentalist. It was through working at Environment Canada in Vancouver that I discovered the scientific basis in the late 80s and throughout the 90s when I was researching articles for the scientists there and realized the threat of climate change. As a child, I'd been very fond of exploring the outdoors, and as a teenager, I met a young man, Ian, who shared my passion for the oceans and the forests. Ian and I were separated for 30 years, but I moved to New York from Vancouver to marry him, and we were reunited and found our passion existed still for the environment. Thus, 20 years ago, we went to Costa Rica and founded a nature reserve in the cloud forest. So this is the resplendent quetzal, which has now returned to this little patch of Costa Rica high up in the mountains. And this is a picture of Ian there, my late husband. So over 20 years, we planted over 70,000 trees. And through this endeavor done by very passionate volunteers and wonderful local workers, so we restored this small corner of the cloud forest. And you can see in these photos the difference between the cattle pasture of 2002 and this picture from 15 years later. So I think it's important to share stories like this because it shows what people can do if you're passionate about something and find something that you really enjoy doing. Always have a dream that lasts longer than a lifetime. So in preparing this service today, Vic, who is on our climate action team committee, suggested sharing some photos of trees. And I have done so and included pictures of the wisdom of trees, because through the research at Cloudbridge, I learned so much more about trees and what they mean to us. They don't just provide us with food, shelter, wood for keeping us warm, home for the animals, but they have their own mystery, which gradually scientists are learning about. Underneath the ground, there's this hidden root structure and the mycelium, or the mycorrhiza, and through this, called the wood wide web, trees communicate with one another, and they can send messages alerting their neighbors to take action against an imminent insect threat. Thus, they have remained dominant in the earth for so many millennia, and it behooves us to keep them healthy. So I would like to share some photos of some extraordinary examples of the trees. This is General Sherman, the largest single tree in the world. It's in the Sequoia Forest in California. This is a Montezuma cypress in Mexico. It's the largest of its species, and you can tell from the school children around it how enormous it truly is. This is amazing. This is a single organism. This is the largest organism on Earth. These quaking aspens, 47,000 of them are clones in a forest called Fish Lake Forest in Utah. So what can we do? Join environmental organizations. Make sure that you're muted. There we are, I think. Join all environmental organizations such as UUCCAT, our climate action team. Write to your government representatives for action on the climate. Donate. Plant native plants. Talk to Carol Warren about that. And eat more plants. Sign up for solar. I can help you with that. And you can help yourself and UUCC. And wind energy. And Vic will be able to tell you more about that in the breakout room. But it's not all doom and gloom as it has been for the last 4 years. Now we have hope for the future. thank goodness, on the 20th of January, we have the dawn of a new era. We're back in the Paris Climate Agreement, but we cannot rest on our laurels. We need to continue to urge our government to take action to end the use of fossil fuels and bring us true hope for the future. Let us remember the words of Chief Seattle. This we know, the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected, like the blood that unites us all. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. And we find an echo of the Chief's words in our UU 7th principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. And now let's listen to one of my favorite UU hymns, sung by Peter Criswell, music by Catherine.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, the making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
So my closing words of gratitude for Earth and its abundance is a little poem by E.E. Cummings. I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. And
now we will extinguish our chalices. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.